everybody. Welcome to another episode of Two Strike Noise, your mom's all-time favorite baseball history podcast. I'm one half of the show. My name is Jeff. Joining me, as always, from the Eric Bedard studio in the Pacific Northwest, it's Mark A. Johnston. Mark, how's the Eric Bedard studio
It's
doing?
interesting. We're my mom's second favorite baseball history podcast. She really likes this other one. I don't know. I don't pay attention to the other ones because, well, for obvious reasons. But, you know, sometimes she listens. So, hey, Mom, thanks for letting us be the number two in your heart. Hey, wait, that sounds terrible.
She'd be the only member of either of our families that listen to this podcast. But
my brother listens. He's retired, so he's got time on his hands.
That's great news. All right, well, Mark, let's get right into it, shall we? Let's get into our BP segment here first. I need it. I need to warm up. I had some back spasms after the game last week.
I know the feeling.
Yeah, I'm getting old. But, Mark, I got to ask you first off, just straight off, who is your all-time favorite saxophonist? I mean, we all have one. You should just roll off your tongue, but who's your all-time favorite saxophonist?
Yeah, the guy from InXS.
Well, I'm warning you if you don't say Kenny G. We're canceling the show and I'm uninstalling baseball.
I have to say Kenny G?
No, you don't, but he's the only saxophonist I could really think of. Well, the guy from the Bruce Springsteen, in the E Street Band.
Yeah, definitely not him. But I was thinking Wynton Marsalis, but that's a trumpet guy.
Yeah. But let me tell you this, you're going to have a new favorite. Okay. Nationals reliever Jose Ferrer? Ferrer? Ferrer. I'm sorry, Jose. I do not know how to spell. Well, I know how to spell your last name. I don't know how to say your last name. But Jose is a fan of YouTube and has been teaching himself how to play saxophone via YouTube. So he travels with this saxophone, as a matter of fact, and has become a bit of a hit in the clubhouse. He's practicing songs like Epic Sax Guy, which I'm guessing I would know if I heard it, but I don't know it off the top of my head. And he also, during batting practice in the bullpen, has been known to whip that bad boy out.
Nice.
I believe now where the Nationals were in Seattle earlier.
Yes.
This week. Yeah. So I've got video here of him during batting practice. He's sitting. This looked like T-Mobile. So I figured that's where it was. But we have some actual video. And this is 100% real of Jose playing during BP in the visitors' bullpen. That's it.
Oh. Boy, that's lovely.
Now, I never said he was good at it yet.
I brought tears to my eyes.
I'm just saying he's learning. And myself, as a former elementary school saxophonist, I can say that this is exactly how I sounded at my sax peak. Right there. It kind of sounded like a goal horn in the NHL. A little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, that's thanks for playing that. I have to buy a new.
Remember at Candlestick, they had that big foghorn. I think it was in center or right center that they'd blow after home runs. That kind of has that vibe to it. But he'll get. I mean, come on, he's picking up a hobby. What are we doing?
Yeah, right. That's
sitting here talking to each other about stupid stuff. So yeah. Go, Jose. We're here for you. Mark, a couple of weeks ago, we talked about Isaiah Kiner Falafa learning that he was related to Baseball Hall of Famer Ralph Kiner. It's a great story. Mm-hmm. Family reunion, and there was much rejoicing. I think during Wax Packs last week, we also found another player that just recently had found that they were related to a baseball player that they didn't know about. There's a new one. New one dropped this week. They're coming out of the woodwork. This time, though, it's a name we are very familiar with, Eric Anthony.
Sure.
Eric Anthony, 9-year big leaguer, mainly for the Astros is where I know him from, but he played for the Mariners at one point.
He did. He was both my teams.
He found out via a DNA test that his biological father is none other than Dodgers legend Willie Davis.
No kidding.
Yeah, father, not cousin or great uncle, like thrice removed or anything like that, but his father. He never knew his father growing up, and his mom didn't tell him. She kept it private, and he respected that. But in 2017, Anthony's daughter convinced him to take one of those ancestry tests, and he found a whole bunch of new relatives he didn't know he had, and he was talking to one of them I guess, on the phone. I don't know how he conversed with him, but they said to him, "Oh, you're the second most famous baseball player in our family." And he's like, "What?" He's like, "I had a 9-year career. Not the biggest one." And they said, "No, you're related to Willie Davis, the 2-time All-Star, 2-time World Series champ, 2,500 hits, 3 Gold Gloves, 398 career stolen bases in an 18-year career that spanned the 60s and 70s, where he played mainly for the Dodgers." So it turns out at one point, Willie Davis actually visited Eric Anthony's home, and he just didn't realize it. He came home one day and there was a Corvette out in front, and Willie Davis is sitting on the couch. He knew who Willie Davis was because he was a baseball fan, but there was neither Willie nor his mother wanted to tell him about this. But now all of he's doing this thing with his newfound siblings. They're collecting a bunch of memorabilia of his father. And he's also pushing for something that has never happened, and that's to get Willie Davis on a Hall of Fame ballot. He's never appeared on a Hall of Fame ballot. He accumulated 2,561 hits over that career I talked about. All those stolen bases, which is a big thing for me. I said 3 Gold Gloves, 2 World Series. He has the highest career WAR, which is a 60.7, to have never appeared on a Hall of Fame ballot.
No kidding. Wow.
Yeah, so maybe he'll be there soon. I'm not sure that I am, looking at his numbers, I don't think he's Hall of Fame worthy, but he had a very long, very good career. But
sounds like it. Yeah, I mean, and what's wrong with putting him on a ballot? Letting people decide.
And this guy's his father now. He's going to push for him. Yeah, sure. Got to do that. All right. So congratulations to Eric Anthony. Unfortunately, Willie Davis passed away in 2010, so he didn't really get to talk to him. His nickname is 3 Dog. I don't know where that comes from. I think, though, Willie Davis, I think it was him and Dusty Baker, though, that did the first high five, wasn't it?
Was it?
I know it was Dusty Baker and somebody on the Dodgers, and I'm pretty sure. Don't quote me on it, but I think it was Willie Davis. All right, Mark, this show is debuting on June 6th. We've got all the quick ones. 2 people that made their debuts today that I wanted to talk about. First of all, 1959, Maury Wills made his debut. Great player, awful manager. We've talked about that before.
Yes.
A lot of black ink. My God, stolen bases, 6 consecutive years in the 60s. He led the league in stolen bases. Also led the league in caught stealing, more than that. 586 career stolen bases, 208 career caught stealing. A lot of stolen bases, but a lot of caught stealings.
He ran a lot, is what you're saying.
Yeah, he really did. MVP of the National League in 1962, 5-time All-Star. Wow, he stole 104 bases in 1962. Wow. And I was reading, he said he could have stolen 140 if he wanted to. Sure, you could have. Sure. But father of Bump Willis, we've talked about that before, outfielder mainly for the Rangers. They had apparently been estranged for quite a while, but I guess they're trying to mend fences. Maury Wills apparently had an affair with Doris Day at one point.
Really?
Yeah, there's some weird quotes from both of them, with neither of them saying if it actually happened or not. But yeah, it's really weird to find all these things and not have anybody ever confirm. But he wrote about it in his autobiography, so at least he thinks it happened. Doris Day has not confirmed it, but she likewise has not denied it. So
interesting.
I'm pretty sure they're both. I know Maury Wills has passed away.
Combining my other favorite part of history, Hollywood history.
Yeah. Wills also a bit of a musician. He was this goes right along with the saxophone stuff. Yes. He was a bit of a musician, a singer. He co-owned, operated, and performed at a nightclub called the Stolen Bass, which was also at one point known as Maury Wills' Stolen Bass, which was in Pittsburgh, where they offered, quote, a mix of, quote, banjos, draft beer, and baseball.
Nice.
Sounds like my kind of bar, except for the beer part.
Of course, being spelled BASS. No,
that's a good
they
one.
Missed that one.
Yeah, they missed out on that. They did.
Wow.
I guess, and now that I'm thinking of it, banjos, draft beer, and baseball. Really, the baseball is the only thing that's appealing to me there. But still, 1969, Wills also appeared in an episode of Get Smart, titled Apes of Wrath. I used to watch that. I mean, obviously in syndication. Not obviously, but I'm not that old. But I loved that show with Don.
It was a hilarious show.
Who was it? Don... Who's
you got me in baseball mode, man.
I know. Not Steve Carell from the movie.
No, not till much
Missed
later.
It by that much, Chief. And 99.
Yes.
Oh, I had a crush.
Thinking about it now. Great.
I had a crush on 99. 99 and Wonder Woman. Those were.
Oh, absolutely.
Linda Carter. Yeah. All right.
I hope Linda Carter listens to our show.
Well, I know she's a big basketball fan, but
so that would lead her here.
Yeah, we should start a Linda Carter podcast then.
Absolutely.
All right. A couple of other things. He also recorded 2 songs. There was an album apparently called The Sound of the Dodgers, which Dodgers perform. I mean, we've played the We Are the Champions rendition from the Dodgers, but listen to this.
Another lovely piece of work.
Yeah, that was a great one too. So one of them's called Somebody's Keeping Score, and the other one is called Dodger Stadium, in which he does a duet with Willie Davis. Professional podcasting right here.
Wow.
Tie that all together.
Very impressive.
All right. The other player making his debut I wanted to talk about today is from 1982, Frankie Sweet Music Viola. Frank Viola.
Nice.
Started 3 games during the 1987 World Series.
Yes. Wow.
That's a lot. He won 2 of them, struck out 16, started game 7, pitched 8 innings. Again, this was his 3rd game in 7 out of 7. He had 7 strikeouts, didn't walk anybody, only gave up 2 runs, and became the first Twins player in franchise history to win a World Series MVP award. As well as
deservedly so. My goodness.
Yeah, as well as their first World Series, obviously. 1988, the next year, I just went out and won the Cy Young Award. Nothing big.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, not too bad there. 24-7 with a 2.64 ERA. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty good. He started 35 games, 7 complete games, 2 shut jobs.
They don't make them like that anymore.
No, maybe they will some point. It would be nice.
I hope so. I certainly hope so. Maxwell Smart, Don Adams.
Don Adams, there you go.
Had to get that in there before I forgot.
Yeah, no, I'm glad you did, because it would have bothered me. I'm not going to lie. Gave up a lot of home runs, but I mean, he's a good pitcher. You pitch a lot, you're going to give up a lot of home runs. Gave up 9 career grand slams, which is second most in baseball history.
Huh.
You have any guesses who he's behind?
No, I don't have any guesses.
One is Mike
Cy
Jackson,
Young?
which is of Mariner. I mean, that kind of goes without saying. But Nolan Ryan, they both gave up 10.
That makes sense.
One Hall of Famer, the other Mike Jackson. I think Mike Jackson probably had a good career. Wasn't he a lefty?
Boy, you know what? I'm not sure.
86 through 2004. No, he was a right-hander, but still 17 years in the big leagues. 3.42 ERA. I mean, he was a middle reliever.
Yeah,
Actually,
that's a long time.
Yeah, look
especially
at this
for a righty.
Actually, at the end of his career, once he turned 32, he became a closer for Cleveland and 15, 40, and 39 saves. Oh. Let's see. And then Viola, after the 87 Twins won that 87 World Series, he was the first Major League Baseball player to say the phrase, "I'm going to Disney World," as they celebrated. Remember?
Oh, yeah.
That was a really big thing. When it first started, I think Phil Simms was the first one to do it when the Giants won the Super Bowl. And then it just got, are they really still doing this? They did that for a long time, I think. But
yeah, I thought they were still doing it.
I don't know. As soon as games are over, I turn stuff off now. I have no need for post-game analysis or anything like that. I can go follow people on social media. They're the people I want to hear from. I don't care about that kind of stuff anymore. I'm over it. Can't be bothered. All right. That's going to do it for our BP segment. Just a little teaser here, Mark. We're going to go through our main segment here. Wax Packs Heroes coming up today. We're tied at 19 apiece. Winner takes all. This is our game 7.
This is it.
This is our game 39, but you get it. I mean, this is it. Whoever wins today wins the Wax Packs Heroes Championship. So just listen to our main story, but just know that that's coming up, and it's very exciting.
No fast forwarding because, I mean, it's a big game.
Yeah, our sponsors hate it when you fast forward like that.
All of them.
All of them. Yeah, we get a lot less money when that happens. All right, let's get into our main segment. Mark, have you ever heard the name Jefferson Burdick?
I don't think so.
No, I hadn't either. But he's somebody that we all owe a debt of gratitude. He was born in 1900 in Syracuse, New York, baseball fan. He became a collector of not just early baseball cards, but really of everything. Like, if the show Hoarders would have been on in the early 1900s, which would have been incredible because there was no TV, but had it been on, it would have been like the pilot episode of Hoarders, because he collected everything: business cards, labels, postcards, and baseball cards. Anything that was mass-produced and disposable, he collected it. I feel like if junk mail would have been a thing back then, he would have had just rooms full of it. If he had ever had email, his spam box would never get deleted. He never threw anything out. So what he did is he created something called the American Card Catalog, or the ACC if you're really into it. Throughout the 1930s and 50s, he classified all known trading cards up to that time. That means tobacco cards, gum cards, postcards, like I said, anything essentially that was collectible, assigning numbers and letters in a system that yielded cards marked such as T206 or R319. You might see where I'm going with this, especially the T206.
Yeah.
He did this in his spare time, mind you, because he was an electrician. This wasn't his job. This is what he did as a hobby. He suffered from arthritis from writing so many things about this stuff. I'm assuming in small handwriting on like graph paper, because there was no spreadsheets then. He's just writing this out. He got arthritis, and it was so bad he actually had to like tape a pencil to his hand to continue to be able to write as he got older.
Wow.
That's dedication. He personally collected over 300,000 cards, including 30,000 or more baseball cards. Now, in his later years, he knew he was not going to live forever. I guess that's been kind of in the news lately, that we're all going to die sometime. What he did is he donated his entire collection to the Met in New York, the Museum of Art. Metropolitan Museum of Art, where it still is today. Most of it's not displayed, but it's curated in the back and cared for. But what he did is he insisted that all of his baseball cards at the Met be glued into albums.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. That being so that nobody could sell them. And he's got every card that was made up till that point, if that tells you anything. There's some cards that are worth a lot of money.
Yeah, that's amazing.
But he was prioritizing history and preservation over any sort of monetary value, of which there was very little at this point for baseball cards when he was doing this. But again, he was looking to preserve this American culture that he enjoyed so much. So one of those cards he cataloged was not one of, all of them, but one we're going to talk about was part of the T206 set. Of course, the Honus Wagner card being the most famous and most expensive from that set. But there is another very famous and very expensive card from that set from a very famous player as well, Ty Cobb. It looks remarkably similar to the Honus Wagner card because pretty much the whole set was head and shoulders drawing of each player. There were no action shots in this, right? There's no triple exposure. There's no sport flicks. There's none of that kind of stuff.
Sport flicks. Wow.
Yeah. There are 4 different variations, though, of this Ty Cobb card, each with a different colored background, as they were distributed by different manufacturers of cigarettes. They didn't each get their own. Topps and goes out and just shoots their own stuff, and Score would do their own. This is all one company makes a baseball card and then everybody buys it, but they might make a little change to it, like a different colored background.
Okay.
Printed around 1909 through 1911, there were thought to be only 50 to 60 copies of that Honus Wagner card today. That's as far as anybody knows. There's only 50, 60 of them. But the Ty Cobb card is even more rare. There are only 22 known today.
Huh.
The rarest one of these variations is printed in green ink with a solid green background. And on the back of it, all it says is Ty Cobb, King of the Smoking Tobacco World.
Okay. Never heard him called that.
No, which is the opposite of Honus Wagner, right? Because Honus Wagner didn't want his card because he didn't want kids smoking. Cobb is like, yeah, use my name, my likeness. I'm going to start a tobacco company while we're at it. Let's sell it to whoever you can. There is a lot of information about this, there is not a lot of information, though, about this slogan other than they believe that Ty had his own brand of tobacco, at least for a short time, and this was a marketing stunt for that. But if he did, it was likely regional, and it wasn't for very long because there are so few of these. So looking at the value here, the Ty Cobb Tobacco Greenback is what it is called. If you get a PSA grade 1, which is the lowest grade, that's worth $150,000 to $300,000. If you get a 4 or higher, you're already looking at about $1 million for it. I couldn't find what the highest graded card was in this. Maybe somebody will know. I couldn't find it. But in 2016, a family was cleaning out their great-grandfather's home. I'm assuming he had passed. This is in Georgia. And they found a crumpled up brown paper bag in a box. So the first thing, I'm guessing they're hoping it wasn't like a forgotten tuna salad sandwich from 40 years ago or a library book that has never been returned. That's my obligatory Seinfeld reference.
Yes.
Bookman. In this bag, there were 7 T206 Ty Cobb cards, all with the green background, and on the back of each of them read Ty Cobb, King of the Smoking Tobacco World.
What a find.
Yeah. Until then, there were only 15 known in existence. So just like that, the number of these jumps up by a third.
Wow.
Just like that. The haul was dubbed the Lucky 7 Fine. They were all authenticated by PSA and valued at over $1 million.
Wow.
So news of this gets out. And, hey, there's new Ty Cobb cards people are discovering. So, of course, people are printing these off the internet or something now. They're showing up everywhere trying to pass them off as, oh, look what I found in my grandpa's trunk.
Right.
But all these new Cobb cards, they couldn't really stand up to scrutiny, let alone grading. But whatever, they're just people trying to scam people. Then in 2018, another mini fine happened, this time a cigar box during an estate sale. 2 more greenback Cobb cards showed up. And this was again in the South, not Georgia. It just said the South, which leads credence to that theory that his company, if he indeed had one, was probably regional, and probably it would make sense to be in Georgia, right? That's where he's from.
Absolutely.
So they were legit, authenticated, 2 more added to the group. Who knows? I mean, if you're in the South, I would start hitting garage sales every weekend. You got any boxes or bags that you haven't looked in? Let me look.
Don't forget where you heard it.
That's right. So we do get a cut of it. So the current honor of being the most expensive baseball card ever sold belongs to the 1952 Topps Mickey Mantle. That's his, as I said, it's his rookie card, went for over $12 million in 2022. Even a PSA 1 version of this Mickey Mantle card is listed currently for $34,000. PSA 1. That means that somebody probably did put it in the spokes of their bike at some point to get it to be PSA 1. So I did a little bit of searching on eBay right now. The highest active player that had a bid going on was that Paul Skeens 2024, debut one.
Oh, wow.
Thing. So it's listed as a PSA 10. It's got his debut patch on it. It's got an autograph listed for $1.1 million.
Wow.
So there's that. So yeah, Burdick cataloged all these just random cards he would find. But now, over a century later, some of these cards are, being bought and sold for more than the Huxtable's townhouse. We don't talk about Bill Cosby a lot, but that townhouse they lived in was beautiful. But he would have hated this, I feel. But he would have been.
You're absolutely right.
He would have been too busy with all his junk mail to really care. Next thing I wanted to talk about, Mark, not a baseball card, but a player that I had not heard of, and there's a good reason I didn't hear him. He hadn't played for very long, but I like his nickname, and we like to talk about nicknames. I found Abraham Lincoln Bailey. Okay. No clue who he was named for. Don't know.
What was his nickname?
Well, I'll tell you what his nickname was, but I don't know who he was named for. I can't figure that one out.
Yeah, it doesn't come to mind.
No. Well, he pitched for the Cubs and the Brooklyn Robins between 1919 and 1921. Record was 4-7. He had a 4.59 ERA. Not a grand career. I mean, he was in the big leagues, so congratulations to you, Abraham Lincoln Bailey. But beyond his cool name and, kind of forgettable career, there is one of these strange things in baseball that we will always remember him for. Because he wasn't a star. He wasn't involved in any scandals. Didn't have a farm accident in his youth, maiming his hand in some way that made him throw like a 12-12 curveball. It goes all the way down and then back up. I don't know. Just some magical thing. But trivia diehards will remember him because he had a great nickname that sounds more like it belongs on a brunch menu than a baseball lineup. Abraham Lincoln Bailey was nicknamed Sweetbread.
Nice.
Why? I don't know. Nobody knows at this point. Maybe something to do with his appearance. He kind of had some pudgy cheeks. Maybe it was a locker room joke, from back in the day. But the name stuck. So with Abraham Lincoln, better known by Sweetbread. First of all, Sweetbread is a term for the pancreas of a calf or lamb.
Yes.
Typically used in high-end French cuisine, which you can, by the way, learn more about on our French cooking podcast, Foie Gras and Foul Balls, available now wherever you get your podcasts. He was a righty, stood about 6 feet tall. One story about him said that he possessed, quote, occasional command, end quote. That's not generally what you want.
That's a funny way to put it.
Occasional command. He bounced between the minors and majors. He showed flashes of talents, but it's really not enough to ever really stick and have a good career in the big leagues. But what's fascinating about Sweetbread Bailey is how often his name gets dredged up by baseball historians, trivia buffs, and irrelevant baseball history podcasts every now and then, but only played for, like I said, 77 2/3 innings in the majors. He struck out 27. He walked 28. So that occasional command coming into play there. Statistically speaking, not great, but here we are talking about him still. So he sounds like he should have pitched in 1863.
Yeah.
Wore, an Abraham Lincoln stove pipe hat and chew horse jerky or whatever between innings to spit on the ball and make it dark and stuff. But not a Hall of Famer, not really memorable, but I will tell you this. He's a great trivia answer, and the next time that there's a Cubs Dodgers square and immaculate grid, Shortbread guarantee is going to get you a real low score. So file that away.
Okay.
File that one away. First of all, Mark, we should also thank everybody that tuned in for the Grid for the Cure last week that we were on with the Ordinary Effort guys. They earned a lot of money. They raised a lot of money. Congratulations to them.
They're good guys, and that was a pretty awesome thing to do.
Yeah, I was pretty proud of us. We did a good grid. We got all 9.
Yeah.
Our immaculate score was like 14, I think, but it would have been lower because each grid that they did that during the 12 hours that they did this had a square where we had to play Lou Gehrig, and our square was like a 9 or something. So we started off kind of behind the 8 ball. But we were very on brand. I think we used Steve Sachs. We used Lance Johnson. We used some real two-strike noise guys. So
absolutely.
That was great. Go ahead. It's on YouTube on their channel. I'll put a link to it if you want to do that. I'm sure the ALS Foundation will take your money now, just as they would last week. So if you want to, please go ahead and do that. That's great. We donated a good amount of money for depending on how well we did, and we did pretty good. Yeah. All right. That was great from them, and really appreciate them asking us on. All right, Mark, that's it for the main segment of the show. It is time. I've given us a little bit of extra time because there is going to be a presentation after this round of Wax Packs Heroes, giving a car away to whoever's the MVP, all that kind of stuff. And we have to do that stand up to cancer break, in the sixth inning or whatever. It's always very long and all that stuff. But before we do all that, we've got to, just like the national anthem, we always have to play the theme song before we start. So it's time to get into the Game 7 of Wax Pack Heroes. Wax Pack Hero! Gonna pull a Wax Pack Hero! Stars in his eyes. Hero! On a podcast tonight. All right. I told you, Mark, it's tied up. 19 apiece. This is it. The whole kit and caboodle. That's very boomerish. Let's forget I said that. The whole ball of wax, the whole ball of... No, it's not getting any better, is it? No. We need something more modern. Yeah. Point being, whoever wins this game today is going to walk away and hold bragging rights. So let's get right into it. What we're going to do, if you are new here, we're going to open up a couple of packs of Wax Pack baseball cards. Maybe just in that era. It might be wax, might not be. But what we're going to do, we're going to play one-on-one against each other, just like you used to do with the card game war. We're going to do that with baseball cards using the baseball reference war. Each round, whoever has the card with the highest baseball reference war will win that round. First to 5 wins the game. Couple of things, though. They can add or subtract to that total per round. Anything that we deem an 80s baseball aesthetic. That means real stirrups, glasses, whether they be needed for seeing or sunglasses, your sweatband with your picture on it, the Mims bands, anything like that we deem cool, or eye black, that kind of stuff. Also, mustaches, that's in there as well. But if you've got a Keith Hernandez, Wade Boggs like mustache, we could give you even an extra 1/10 of a point on top of that. But if we find something like 2-in-1s or things that we don't like, that is a minus 1/10 of a point. I think we need to flush that out a little bit. We need more than just 2-in-1s. We need to figure out some other stuff to add there. But also, any awards won the year of the cards. So Rookie of the Year, Cy Young, MVP, if they were an All-Star or won a Gold Glove, that's a half point each. If there's a Hall of Famer on the card, even if they're not in focus, that's an extra point. If Ricky Henderson appears at any point, I win the round automatically, regardless of who drew him. Same thing goes for Mark with Nolan Ryan. That round is over. Pop culture references that we can find easily, that is a half a point if you got one of those, unless it is a Seinfeld, Sabrina the Teenage Witch, or Simpsons reference, in which case you get a full point for each of them. And if you appeared in the Mitchell Report or were buying drugs from the Pittsburgh Pirates mascot in the early 80s, you are going to minus a half a point. All right, Mark, I'm going to let you choose the pack that we are going to work from today. I have got Topps packs from 1980 all the way up to 1996.
Okay.
I have a Rogue Score pack from 1988. So which would you like for this ultimate Game 7? Which year do you want to go with?
So we should go with 84.
84, okay. All right. I'm going to have you go first then.
That's fine.
Just because I think that's the way we usually do it. And you went first last week and I won. So let's keep it going. All right. Your first card is with the St. Louis Cardinals, Ken Oberkfell. I think of him a lot as a Brave.
Absolutely, yeah.
Let's see. I got to get eBay open. I didn't have it.
Long career.
Let's see. What are we doing? We're doing 1984. Oops.
2 teams in 84.
Yeah, let's see. He got traded in the season, but this is the regular card, which is good for you because it's extra points. Because in this card, It's a good card, though, by the way. He's got the Cardinal blue road jersey on, and he's dirty. He's got real stirrups. He's got flip-down sunglasses, and he's got eye black. So right off the bat there, you've got a 0.3 of a point from this good-looking card. Let's see. Overall, Ken played for 16 years in the big leagues. 8 for St. Louis, 5 for Atlanta, 2 for Houston and Pittsburgh, and then the San Francisco Giants and the California Angels for a year at the end. 1984, combined with the Cardinals and Atlanta, he hit .269, .331 on base, .349 slugging, 1 home run, 21 RBI, 2 stolen bases, 5 caught stealing. But he walked 31 times, only struck out 27 times, so that's good. A 90 OPS plus and a .9 WAR.
Okay, that's positive.
Yeah, it's definitely positive. Remember the 82 World Series team in St. Louis? Oberkfell was part of the Bearded Braids, triumphant, along with Glenn Hubbard and Bruce Sutter. He says, the Beards made us stand out from the clean-cut Dale Murphy types. Consider us a modern-era House of David team. Congrats for, I mean, the fact that he knew what the House of David was.
Yeah. I mean, that's impressive. A lot of guys wouldn't.
Yeah. So good for you, Ken. I'm not sure there's going to be much IMDb action here other than him appearing as himself in baseball games. Yes. All right. Well, not bad. That's a 1.4 for you. Not a bad way to start. And you will be going up for me and the Los Angeles Dodgers, Jose Morales. Yeah, I'm not sure I'm familiar with Jose. Let's see. So this card, well, I'm going to get, actually, this is kind of a cool card. He's listed as a catcher first baseman. He's got a, dare I say, a 2/10 mustache.
I'm looking at it. You're absolutely right.
It's a Boucher one, but he also has real stirrups, but he also has a batting helmet with no ear flaps, and he's wearing his hat underneath it. That is 0.5 of a point from this card. Well, that might be all I get. I don't know. So let's see, because I don't know anything about Jose Morales. So let's see what exactly we're working with here. Let's see. Overall, 12 years in the big leagues. Let's see. 5 with Montreal, 3 with Minnesota, the Dodgers for 3, Baltimore for 2, and my Oakland A's in 1973. Well, he won a ring. So good
World
for him.
Series.
Yeah. Well, at least one. He's got the Dodgers. No Dodgers when he was there. 1984, he only appeared in 22 games. This was his final year at age 39. Only appeared as a only appeared as a pinch hitter, hit 158, 200 on base, slugging of 158, meaning he didn't have an extra base hit, for a OPS plus of 3 and a WAR of blank. It's not even 0. It's just blank. Who knows? Maybe he went on to have a very successful acting career that we're just not aware of.
Right. Yeah. I do like this. This is an interesting note. They're talking about the Puerto Rican Winter League. He only had 112 at bats, so he hit 402, but he didn't qualify for the batting title because he was backing up his teammate at catcher, Johnny Bench.
Yeah. I've heard of him.
Yeah. Me too.
He had 18 half sisters and brothers.
Wow.
He was raised in poverty as one. Well, then it says he's raised in poverty as one of 15 children of a shoemaker. This sounds like the beginning of a Disney story.
Totally.
More than anything. Let's see.
Jose Morales. Hey, maybe I can pitch that.
He's worked in baseball for quite a while. He's been coaching and stuff, but I don't see anything that's going to help me out, unfortunately. No. All right. So round 1 goes to you. It was pretty close, though. I mean, I got that. Those are 2 good cards. Just looking at them.
Interesting.
All right. Your next card. Oh, well, let's see what you get here. But I mean, it's Tom Seaver. So right away, you're going to get some points. Let's see. Traded during the season. He's got a couple of cards here with the Mets and the White Sox. All right, so his original card here is when he is with the Mets before he's traded to the White Sox. The card is nothing special. He's got stirrups on, so you'll get 0.1 of a point right out of the bat. out of the bat, right off the bat.
Yes.
Something like that. But of course, with Tom Seaver, you're going to get the stuff that comes with it, like the Hall of Fame bonus. So that certainly won't hurt you. Overall, 3 Cy Youngs, Rookie of the Year, 69 World Series, 12-time All-Star. 1984. Let's see. Though he has a traded card, he spent the whole year with the White Sox, where he went 15-11 with a 3.95 ERA. 10 complete games, 4 shutouts, 236 2/3 innings, only 216 hits allowed, 131 strikeouts, a 105 ERA plus, and a 4.1 WAR.
Wow.
That's pretty good.
Very respectable.
Not going to lie, I'm a little worried. Well, I'm a lot worried. Let's see here. People he was traded for during his career of note. Lloyd McClendon and he was traded for Steve Lyons at one point. Those two just don't seem like they would have crossed paths, but
right
there they are. Now he's got to have some pop culture reference points here. I hope he doesn't, but I know he's going to. Broadcasting.
Oh yeah. Do you remember him color commenting with Vince Scully on NBC?
I don't really. Joe Garagiola is always the guy I remember.
Right. It was after Garagiola.
I remember
seeing him and thinking, hey, that's Tom Seaver. My dad talks about that dude.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely remember him doing, and I think he work for a team as well when he wasn't doing national broadcasts. I remember him as a broadcaster as well. Yes. I'm not seeing anything here on Wikipedia, though, that would get you any points. Unfortunately, did pass away from complications from COVID-19 in 2020 at the age of 75. Now, was he one of the announcers in Naked Gun? Remember, they had a booth full of announcers?
I know Jim Palmer was.
Let's see. I'm looking at his credits. He was apparently in Facing Nolan. The Baseball Bunch. Okay, he was on the Baseball Bunch one time. So there's some pop culture. Looks like he appeared on Saturday Night Live uncredited one time as well. He was on To Tell the Truth. Yeah, he was on 60 Minutes. I'm assuming that was just. He was on the Michael Douglas Show. All right, you're gonna get a half a point for that. So that'll take you up to 5.7. He was on the Ed Sullivan and Merv Griffin Show and the Johnny Carson Tonight Show. I could just keep going. He definitely has the pop culture.
Yeah, he was very big.
All right. So Tom Terrific gets you 5.7. That's going to be hard to beat. I've got here with the Blue Jays, Jorge Bell.
He had some good years.
Yeah. Well, he had some very good years. Now, when were they is the question. Let's see here. On this card, I see real stirrups, which is great. That's the only thing, though, that's going to help me here. Yeah, that's it. I mean, I'll take it, obviously. Jorge Bell. Remember when on his cards, he was George Jorge Bell?
Yeah, I totally remember that.
Let's see. League MVP, 3-time All-Star, 3 Silver Sluggers. Overall, 12 years in the big leagues, 9 with Toronto, 2 with the White Sox, and 1 with the Cubs. I vaguely remember those. 1984 with the Blue Jays. He hit .292, 326 on base, 498 slugging, 26 home runs, 87 RBI, 11 stolen bases, only caught twice, for a 121 OPS plus and a 3.1 WAR.
Wow.
That's a good WAR. It's not close to what I need, but
no, but that was his first season as a regular, so that's pretty good.
Yeah. Traded in 1992 by the Cubs to the White Sox for Sammy Sosa.
Huh. Interesting.
And I need some big time Canadian media appearances, and I just don't think I'm going to get them. Like George Bell's Baseball Bunch or something, but no, there's nothing there that I see. So, man, I'm digging a hole here. You're up 2-0. I'm making it dramatic is all I'm doing. Oh, you like this? You've got your next card is for the White Sox, Julio Cruz.
Hey, rest in peace. Julio was a great guy.
Let's see. This is a good-looking card. I mean, they're all good-looking cards here. I'm going to need your eyes on this. He's got real stirrups. I can't tell if he's wearing his hat under his helmet or not.
Let me zoom in.
He's got the Mizuno shoes on that are awesome.
See, I don't know, because he had some really nice hair. That might just be an extension of his nice hair.
Where the bill of the cap goes?
No.
Yeah, I don't see enough. I think this might be one of those where the call stands. It's not confirmed. I just think call stands.
I agree.
All right, so that'll be a 1/10 of a point for the stirrups, at least. You got that going for you. Overall, Julio Cruz, 1977 through 1986, 7 years with the Mariners, 4 with the White Sox. 1984, let's see, he hit .222, .295 on base, .311 slugging, 5 home runs, 43 ribs, 14 stolen bases, but only a 65 OPS plus, but still a 2.6 WAR.
Wow.
Those are weird numbers to have a 2.6 WAR.
That's interesting.
Boy, a lot of these cards, these guys died in very recently, passed away in 2022.
Yeah.
Held the stolen base mark in a single season for the Mariners until Ichiro surpassed it. That's why that Harold Reynolds didn't, but that's what it says.
That's where my mind went, but hey.
All right, well, that's a 2.7 for you. This could be beatable. Let's see who we get. Oh, okay. This guy had a good year or two with the Astros. It's Terry Poole. Poole Mania, wasn't it?
Poole Mania?
I believe I remember from the 98 Tops podcast, there was a Terry Poole Mania going around.
Okay.
Not a lot going on. I give Tops. I like these cards, though. I mean, these are a lot of action shots, so I give him that. Real stirrups. He's got something going on in his back pocket, but I can't tell what it is. Oh, maybe it's his hat. That's what it is, I bet.
Guys used to do that. They would just wad up the hat.
Yeah.
Shove it in their pocket.
Yeah. Oh, and he's wearing a protector on his right shin, which in '84 was a rarity, but I don't think that's it. What do we say about the hat in the back pocket, though?
They don't do that anymore. I think that's an aesthetic.
Yeah, I think so. That's a very rare aesthetic. All right, I'll take it. That's 2/10 of a point at least. I still think I'm probably not gonna get there too much, but 15 years in the big leagues, 14 of them with Houston, and then a final year in 91 with the Royals. 1984, let's see, a 301 average, 380 on base, a 434 slugging for a 137 OPS plus. Best year of his career. 9 home runs, 55 ribs, 13 stolen bases, and a WAR of 3.0.
Ouch.
So assuming he didn't get suspended or use cocaine or steroids, I'm going to win with Terry Poole.
Unbelievable.
Poole Mania, man. I'm telling you.
It says after his retirement in 91, he was inducted into the Saskatchewan Sports Hall of Fame in 94. So I've read all about the Saskatchewan Sports Hall of Fame. It was a very nice leaflet.
You made a special trip just to visit the Saskatchewan.
It's in a guy's living room. It's interesting.
We've got a lot of Canadians in this pack, I gotta say.
It's true.
All right, well, Terry, I appreciate it. I am up. Well, not up. I'm on the scoreboard. It's 2-1. This is getting tight. All right, next. Oh, you've got a Don from the New York Yankees. You've got Don Baylor.
Do we get points for being hit by pitches?
Not per se. Didn't we have Don last week because we talked about him breaking his leg on opening day?
We did talk about that.
Our producer Mitch texted us about it. I think
that's right.
Did, yeah. All right. Well, you get some good points here from the card. He's got real stirrups. I mean, everyone did at this point. He has got a mustache and he's got a batting helmet with no ear flaps on it. Right off the bat, there you go.
Wow.
You got 0.3 of a point. Congratulations. Overall, Don Baylor, 19 years in the big leagues, 6 with the Angels and Orioles, 3 with the Yankees, 2 with Boston and Oakland, and then 1 with Minnesota. A lot of World Series in a row there for him by the sneak thief. In 1984, at the age of 35, he hit .262, 341 on base, 489 slugging. That's pretty good. A 131 OPS plus. He had 27 homers, 89 RBI. Let's see. Led the league in, you'll never believe this, in hit by pitches.
No.
The first of 4 consecutive years he did it. He prior had led 4 different times as well. And all of that is good for a WAR of 3. Even. Pretty good.
Okay.
Take you up to 3.3. Let's see. Traded by the Orioles with Mike Torres to the A's for Ken Holtzman and Reggie Jackson.
Wow.
Let's see. We talked about him last week, so I don't think.
In his autobiography, he said Yankees alumnus Tommy John and Reggie Jackson warned him not to sign with the Yankees due to George Steinbrenner's infamous strict and harsh attitude towards players.
Especially, and just say it, black players. Dave Winfield can attest to that. All right, so you've got a 3.3. My next card, not feeling good about this, I have got with the Montreal Expos, Bill Gullickson. Looking at the card, it's these are good cards. I really like the pictures. He's got real stirrups on. Again, you just start out with 1/10 of a point from this set. Overall, 14 years in the big leagues, 7 with Montreal, 4 with Detroit, 2 with Cincinnati, and then Houston and New York. He also spent some time in Japan. 1984, he went 12-9 with a 3.61 ERA, 2.26 and 2/3 innings pitched, 230 hits allowed, led the league with 27 home runs given up, struck out 100 for a 96 ERA plus and a WAR of 1.3. First round draft pick, 2nd overall by the Expos in 1977. And
one of the very few players you see go to Japan and then come back and continue. He went to Japan 88, 89, and then he came back and played in the big leagues from 90 through 94.
He says his time in Japan, the only English words he saw were Sony and Mitsubishi. Very English, those words.
Very. That's awesome. That's too funny.
Let's see. He's got a lot of athletes in his family, but nothing here that's gonna help me at all. So Bill Gullickson is gonna fall, and I am down 3-1. All right. Your next card is Bill Gullickson. Your next card is, wow, we've got these big pitchers. And by big, I just mean they're physically big. You've got, with the San Diego Padres, Tim Stoddard. Let's see. Actually, his card, though, is with Baltimore. I'm sorry. He's got a mustache. I'm going to give you 0.2 of a point on that. It's very thick. It's very blonde, but it curves down under his lips on the side. And he's got real stirrups, of course. So you'll get 0.3 of a point right off the bat there. Stoddard, overall 13 years in the big leagues, 6 with Baltimore, and then the Yankees, Padres, Cubs, Cleveland, and the White Sox as well. In 84 with Chicago, went 10-6, 3.82 ERA, 92 innings out of the bullpen, 92 innings, 77 hits allowed, 87 strikeouts for a 1.02 ERA plus and a 0.7 WAR. Not bad for a middle reliever non-closer.
Right, no kidding. Now, I wouldn't have thought this, but he does have pop culture points.
Okay.
He appeared in the movie Big, and he was the baseball advisor and portrayed a Dodgers pitcher in Rookie of the Year.
It's good enough. I mean, the first one was good enough, but yeah.
Right.
Also one of only 2 baseball players to play in both an NCAA basketball Final Four and a Major League Baseball World Series, the other being Kenny Lofton, of course.
Yes, very nice.
All right, so that'll give you an extra 1/10 of a point. That will take you up to 1.5. Or was that me? No, that was you. Tim Stoddard.
That was me.
Tim Stoddard was you. And, okay. I think I'm going to be able to beat you here because I've got a Hall of Famer.
Oh, okay.
It's the Wizard of Oz, Ozzie Smith.
We've talked about Ozzie before, I think.
Yeah, well, I've got Baseball Bunch right off the bat.
Yeah.
Hosted This Week in Baseball after Mel Allen passed. I mean, this is a given. I've won this round. Great card. He is running with real stirrups. He's got a beard and mustache and a batting helmet with no ear flaps. So all of that just piling on at this point. Overall, Osborne Earl Smith, 19 years in the big leagues, Came up with the Padres for 4 and then 15 with St. Louis afterwards. 84 All-Star, surprisingly enough, 15-time All-Star. World Series, of course, in 82. He ended up with a 5.0 WAR for this year. So I don't think we need to go on much further here. I might end up in double digits with my Ozzie Smith total here.
Yeah, no, I think you get this one down. I do love this, though. He played the role of the wizard in the St. Louis Municipal Opera's summer 2001 production of The Wizard of Oz.
Yeah, I think we've mentioned that before. And he dressed up as an old guy for some commercials with another teammate. I forget who it was.
I think that's awesome.
Yeah. All right, so 3-2. Your next card is with the Detroit Tigers. It is Tom Brookens. I seem to remember, maybe I'm thinking of Scott Livingston. I thought Tom Brookens had glasses, but he definitely does not in this card. He does have real stirrups, and he's got a mustache.
He's got a good one, doesn't he?
Yeah, I'm going to give you 2/10 on that one.
Yeah.
Pretty much, if it curves around your lip, you're bucking for an extra.
That's right.
1/10 of a point. Overall, 12 years in the big leagues, 10 with Detroit, and then New York and Cleveland for a little bit each. In 84, hit 246, 306 on base, 397 slugging, 5 home runs, 26 RBI, and a 95 OPS plus for a 2.0 WAR. Part of the World Series team in 1984 for Detroit.
Oh, sure. He's got a twin brother, Tim and Tom. And apparently they used to switch identities. And in fact, it says suiting up in each other's uniforms, Tim is believed to have played at least one exhibition game disguised as Tom.
I wonder what he did in that game.
That's awesome.
Well, Tom was a first-round draft pick, 4th overall in the 75 draft by the Tigers. Nicknamed by Ernie Harwell as the Pennsylvania Poker.
Oh, that's good.
Okay. Well, he was the third baseman, obviously. You had Trammell and Whitaker.
Yeah.
In the infield with him.
Pretty good infield.
Yeah. His range factor was consistently above league average. Yeah. Good infield. I mean, that was just a great infield, regardless of who you had at first base. Have a cousin, Ike, who pitched for the Tigers in 75. So I don't see anything there that's going to help you pop culture wise. So you've got a 2.3. Oh, I like this. I got another Hall of Famer.
Oh, come on.
I'm digging this pack right here. I have got everybody's favorite Hall of Famer, Jack Morris. Here with the Tigers, I think we've had this card before. He's got a mustache. This is not an action shot. It's a staged pregame shot, so I can't see the stirrups. He is a pitcher, and he's faking like he's going to start pitching. He's got a batting glove on under his fielding glove, which is a thing, I guess. I mean, we're calling that an 80s baseball aesthetic if it's an action shot, because guys don't wear their batting gloves in their glove hands anymore. But This is a stage shot. I don't know why he would have been taking BP. I'm not going to get it. I'm not going to give it to myself, but I am going to give him a 1/10 of a point for the mustache.
Most definitely.
Let's see. Morris, 18 years in the big leagues. Detroit for 14, Toronto for 2, Minnesota and Cleveland's for 1 apiece. 3-time World Series winner. Also World Series MVP, 5-time All-Star and a Hall of Famer. Also a All-Star in 1984. So feeling pretty good about this one. Went 19-11 with 3.6 ERA, 240 innings, 221 hits allowed, 148 strikeouts, led the league in wild pitches for the second of 3 consecutive years with 14, but still had a 109 ERA plus and a 2.5 WAR. I'm not sure if he had any pop culture. It doesn't really matter at this point. This is a big win. I know he's done TV before. I think he got canceled for saying something about Ichiro. Just
I don't remember that.
Stupidest thing. I think it was him. Sure. I don't remember. Or no, it wasn't. It was about Shohei, not Ichiro.
Oh.
But yeah, we're not even going to touch that. It's just stupid maneuver. All right, we're tied up at 3, Mark. I fought back. This is a Game 7 for the ages. And you have got, your next card is with the Cardinals, Tommy Herr.
Ooh, good ball player.
Interesting card. This is at Shea Stadium. He has just dove back to first base and is starting to get up, keeping his hand on the bag and looking over his shoulder. Nice and dirty. He's got the Cardinals blues on as well. Real stirrups, batting helmet with no ear flaps, and a mustache. So you get your traditional 0.3 of a point.
I guess so.
Seems like. Overall, Tommy Herr, 1979 through 1991 for 13 seasons, 10 with the Cardinals, 2 with the Phillies and Mets, 1 with Minnesota and San Francisco. In 1984, hit 276, 335 on base, 346 slugging, 4 home runs, 49 ribs, 13 stolen bases for a 94 OPS plus and a 2.1 WAR. Pretty consistent here.
Yeah, no kidding. I'm just kind of hanging right there.
Yeah. Remember the 82 World Series team with St. Louis? We've had a lot of those.
Yeah.
Not really ever traded for anybody of note. I mean, to their families, they were clearly noted, but, not nobody we're going to talk about.
He retired. When he retired, he had the highest all-time career fielding percentage for a National League second baseman. That now belongs to Ryne Sandberg, I believe, but at the time he retired, that's what his fielding percentage was.
He had a good career. Very good career.
He did.
All right, so that's a 2.4 for you. And let me see. I think I got a manager. I need to make sure, though. Nope. All right, I thought this was going to be a manager card when I saw the name, but no. Still playing in 1984. It is for the Chicago Cubs, Larry Bowa. Now, we'll see once we flip it over because he looks 512 years old. This is a spring training shot of which he is wearing his hat under his helmet. So I've got that going for me. He played through 1985.
Wow.
So he appeared in, 133 games at the age of 38. That's the state of your 1984 Cubs. I think 223 average, 274 on base, 269 slugging, no home runs, 17 RBI, a 49 OPS plus, and a WAR of minus 0.1.
Oops.
Yeah. Of course, traded with Ryne Sandberg, though, to the Cubs for Ivan de Jesus.
That's right.
And then, of course, went on to be a manager of note. Let's see, managed the Phillies for 4 years, Padres for 2, and did some TV and radio, but I don't see anything here that is going to help me at all. So that is now 4-3.
Oh,
this is it. You're one card away. Well, you're going to like it. I hope I like it too. You have got, with the Astros, you've got Denny Walling. I don't know. Did Denny Walling put up big numbers at any point?
All around solid. I imagine he's got some good numbers in there somewhere.
All right. Well, his card is a staged spring training card where I'll give you the mustache 0.2 point because it is going around his lips, but that's the only thing that you're going to get there. Let's see what we've got here for Denny. Overall, 18 years. Wow. Houston for 13, St. Louis for 3, Oakland. Oh, he came up with Oakland in 75 and 76, and then Texas for 1. In 84 with the Astros, 281 average, 325 on base, 402 slugging, 3 home runs, 31 RBI, 7 stolen bases for a 111 OPS plus and a 1.8 WAR.
Still right around that 2.0.
Yeah, you're at 2.0 exactly right now. First round draft pick by the A's in the supplemental draft. Excuse me. In 75, traded by the Astros to the Cardinals for Bob Forsch, nicknamed Goodwood. Probably not a nickname that would come out today, but I don't see anything else here, though, that is going to help you. You are going to put Denny Walling's 2.0. Ooh, you got an Astro? I got an Athletic.
Oh.
Dwayne Murphy, looking for his MC Hammer money. Dwayne Murphy. He probably had a Gold Glove, I'm going to guess, this year. Good card here at the Coliseum. Oh, I love the jersey. We've got the green pullover jersey with the white Oakland across it, even though it's at home, and gold stroke around it. The only thing I'm going to get here, though, is 0.1 of a point for a mustache. Overall, Dwayne Murphy.
You're right on the Gold Glove, though.
Yeah, a good outfielder. 12 years in the big leagues, Oakland for 10, Philadelphia and Detroit 1 apiece. Overall, 6 Gold Gloves. So half of his years, 84 was one of them. Let's see here. He hit 256, 342 on base, 472 slugging, 33 home runs, 88 RBI for a 132 OPS plus and a 4.3 WAR.
Aye.
Oh, I think we're going to the final card of the final game here, sir.
Crazy.
I don't remember him being involved in any shenanigans that would cause him to lose any. Well, I mean, plus we probably give him a pop culture point for his MC Hammer, Stanley Burrell connection, but not
He's an
needed.
bass guitar player.
Yeah. All right. We are tied up at 4-4. This is it, Mark.
Okay.
We're going to this is it. Yeah. Watch, you're going to
the whole season comes down to this, folks.
What if we pull Nolan or Ricky?
I don't even want to think about that. That's a sign of the apocalypse.
All right. You are going with, I might be very happy with your card. You have got none other than Willie Upshaw.
Oh, man.
I mean, I know Willie Upshaw, but I don't know. Might have had a good power year this year. Unfortunately for you, you cannot see his stirrups here. It is cut off right where his stirrups are. He's got a mustache. I can't say that that's a 2/10 of a mustache, but it's a mustache.
Yeah.
Overall, 10 years in the big leagues for Willie. 9 of it with Toronto, 1 with Cleveland. 1984, good year. Not going to lie. 278 average, 342 on base, 464 slugging, 19 home runs, 84 ribs, 10 stolen bases for a 119 OPS plus. He got MVP votes for the second year in a row and a 2.6 WAR.
Okay.
So a little bit above your average. Yeah. I just can't imagine Willie Upshaw doing a lot of pop culture stuff. Cousin of NFL Hall of Fame guard Gene Upshaw.
Oh, sure. Yeah, yeah.
And Melvin Upshaw, who was apparently also a defensive lineman. His son, Chad, signed a 3-year contract as a tight end with the Carolina Panthers in 2007. Athletic family. Very athletic. All right, so that's a 2.7 for you. Oh, God. And a meme has been born.
Oh.
Because your 2.7 is going to be going up against my Champ Summers. Champ frickin' Summers.
Maybe he went on to become a superstar in, TV and movies.
Maybe he went on to become Nitro in American Gladiators or something. Champ Summers? Oh, boy. Oh, he's got a good mustache, but it's just 1/10 of a point. I don't know. It's an empty spring training stadium. He's staring off into the distance like 1,000-mile stare because he's getting shell-shocked by Gene Upshaw or whoever, Willie Upshaw. Champ Summers, 11 years in baseball, a bunch of teams. 84 was his last year. When he was at the Padres, 47 games. He hit 185, a 254 on base, 296 slugging, 1 home run, 12 RBI. This is painful. 55 OPS plus for a minus 0.1.
Wow.
Champ Summers.
He is a meme. Definitely.
Yeah,
he's part of the show now.
Yep. Champ Summers is now officially part of the 2-strike noise lore.
That's right.
John Jr. Champ Summers. Well, he's a member of the Southern Indiana University Edwardsville Athletics Hall of Fame.
Well, I believe in the bylaws, that's worth 2 points.
Get this. So, a family of athletes, a father who was a prize fighter in the Navy and a mother who was a pro bowler. Summers received his nickname Champ from his father. He said, quote, "Dad took one look at me when I was born and said he looks like he'd just gone 10 rounds with Joe Louis."
I've had that said about me.
Just today.
Yeah, earlier. My wife said it.
Boy, That's passed away in 2012. Champ Summers. Maybe we should name the trophy after him that you just won.
Maybe, yes. That was an anticlimactic kind of ending.
That really was. All right, Mark. Well, congratulations.
We'll put another one up on the shelf here.
Yeah. Well, look at he was signed by the Oakland A's as an amateur free agent after being discovered in a men's softball league.
No way. Easy.
Who the hell is scouting a men's softball league?
Someone
the A's apparently.
Yeah,
I think we answered our question. Oh boy, Champ friggin', and that's how he's going to be referred to, by the way, Champ friggin' Summers.
Yeah,
for now on. All right, Mark.
Okay.
Well, congratulations. If you wanna send your congratulatory messages to Mark, let's tell you how. We've got a bunch of places you can send it. Just you need to look in the show notes or Google Two Strike Noise. That's TWO Strike Noise. That'll give you all of our socials, our Blue Sky, our YouTube, our Facebook. I've been streaming on Twitch. I'll only be on Twitch once next week on Monday. We probably are not going to have a show next week because I'm going on a baseball trip. So I'll have things to talk about when I come back. You probably will too. Mr. Rogers reference there. But also, if you want to send him a congratulatory email, he's going to tell you how to do that right now.
You can write to us at Two Strike Noise, TWO Strike Noise at gmail.com. Congratulatory eBay gift cards are an acceptable form of congratulations. Thank you.
You can buy all the Champ Summers baseball cards listed.
That's the goal right there.
On eBay. All right. Well, unlike hockey, there are no handshake lines in baseball, so I don't have to shake your hand, fortunately.
No, but we salute you for an incredible season.
All right. Well, what this means, though, is we can start fooling around with rules and come up with some different ways to play this. So we will do that. Thank you for joining us for this episode. And we appreciate it. We'll see you next time on the next episode of Two Strike Noise.
Cue the fanfare, Jeff. Thank you. God bless you. Have a great day.